Good evening and welcome. Hello, everybody that's listening to our latest edition of All Things Sky Blue, in my opinion, with. I hope you can hear me. I've been having a little bit of trouble today with the stream, so I hope everyone can hear me and everyone's okay that's listening. So you know where you can find us. We are All Things Sky Blue. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We are partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar at the CBS Arena as well. First of all, good evening, Brandon. Thank you very much for coming on. Much appreciated. You can hear me. That's good. Thank you, Mark, for clarifying that. Obviously, the questions are coming thick and fast already, so thank you very much for that. So I'm Stuart, part of the All Things Sky Blue team. Hello and welcome. Again, where you can find us is scrolling on the ticker down the bottom. If you like what we do, then please go and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel that we're live on. We're also live on Facebook and X as well, or formerly known as Twitter. So obviously the questions are coming thick and fast. So we'll start with the first one, Brandon. Those for on the podcast that's not listening live but following up, they've said Collins in goal ASAP. Obviously there has been, that's probably one of the biggest debates that we've had and that we're going to have so far this season. It's probably the biggest debate that we've had in a long time. It's a difficult one, really, just because, look, it's easy to slate Wilson. The defence hasn't been great, and obviously last season he relied on a really strong and solid defence, which helped him out a lot, clearly. But we haven't really seen enough of Collins either. I hope this live isn't going to be a pain in my bum. Bear with me. Sorry, guys. Does it keep lacking out for you guys? It's not at the moment. It's okay at the moment. So obviously we haven't seen really enough of Collins. And funny enough, obviously I know people on a few people on Twitter have already mentioned about Collins not playing for the under-21s and things like that, which I am surprised about. Now, I've been off work for a couple of days, and I actually went to see the under-21s today. And when we look at the people that are coming up, you can kind of see why they're not getting a chance. Nobody really stood out for me today. Granted, I've only seen them once for 90 minutes, and it wasn't necessarily the best game that they've had. I'm sure that they've had better games, but based on the game that I have seen today, and for anyone that hasn't seen a game, if you get a chance, please go and watch the under-21s, because these are the young lads that are coming up, and hopefully we want them to start, don't we? A Big Quab and people like that, and Stretton that's been on the bench a few times and stuff. It's these guys need supporting as well. So I just wanted to go down and show my support and just to see what they're actually like. Now, a Big Quab who played up front, number 9, we have been calling them for why don't you give him a chance. Based on today, I understand why is not giving him a chance. He was a lone striker. He didn't get much service in the game that I've seen today, but he didn't really necessarily stand out for me. Kai Andrews stood out for me. Stretton showed a few bits, and parry at the back as well. If I'm honest, the keeper made a howler, and he completely missed a catch that, you know, I would have expected myself to catch, and I'm not a goalkeeper or anything, but you know, the striker did well. He got in his way, and then he pushed the striker over, which then led to the penalty. I missed the actual first goal, so I didn't see that one, but I saw their second. But we're wanting, you know, we're crying out for these people to start, but we've got to trust Robbins. Look, and with what I've seen today, but like I said, nobody really stood out for me amazingly. And you expect these players that are on the bench, and we want them to start. You know, we kind of expect them to stand out and, you know, be mesmerized. Oh, I can't even say the word now. Forget that one. You know, it's just, you know, we want these people they want these players to, you know, be in the absolute limelight, and they just weren't. And, you know, I was slightly a little bit disappointed. You know, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't necessarily the best game. But anyway, we move on for that. Anyway, anything that you want to ask about, obviously, Sky Blues, Coventry City, please ask me a question and I'll do shout outs. So let's get back to the questions. Evening, Stu. We live and die in these towns. I hope you're okay. Hi, Mark. I think I've just seen Josh. Josh has just said, in the gym, pumping iron. Good lad, Josh. That's what I like to hear. Excuse me. Brandon said to me, what do you think about Burrows coming back and push MVE forward? Look, again, anybody that listens to our Twitter space or X space on a Sunday night and listens to this, and people have asked me questions before about Burrows, you know, I think the loan was a good loan move for him, playing at the higher end of League One. I think it is League One, League Two. I can't quite remember where Lincoln are, actually. Sorry. League Two, are they? You know, but he's playing well. He's getting 90 minutes pretty much every week, I think. He's scored today. I know he has. He got an assist the other week when we were last on here as well, I think. You know, so he's doing well. And I think that the loan's doing him well as, you know, like I said, look, I know Howley's gone over to Scotland, and I've got no issues with that. But I would really prefer them if they stayed in England and played for a competitive side in English football, because I just think it helps a little bit more with their development, and not go over to Scotland, because, you know, it is probably slightly a weaker league. We live and die in these towns has said, you were correct when you were calling for a 4-3-3 formation 2 weeks ago on your In My Opinion show. Hope we start the game against Stoke in a 4-3-3 formation. I'm going to put that one up because it's very rare that I'm right. So, yeah, you know, look, the only reason I've been calling for, it doesn't even have to be 4-3-3, you know, 4-4-2, you know, and play with wingers, Sakamoto as a winger. I just think that, you know, with a 4-3-3, it just allows you to possibly change within the game. You know, with being three at the back, you're kind of stuck with it. You can't really, because of the players that he's got on, you can't really change it anyway, really, to change, you know, to make a plan B in the game situation, where I think a 4-3-3, if you're playing the right players, then that can allow you to change your formation quite quickly within the game if you see that it needs to be changed or tweaked slightly. You know, that's the kind of thing. And, you know, the players, again, that is brought in, you know, Milan, Sakamoto down that right-hand side, whichever one goes forward and plays that front, you know, if they play on that right-hand side, the pair of them, it doesn't matter which one goes forward and which one goes, because they can both play that position. So, again, that allows a little bit of flexibility. Probably slightly different on the left, because, again, it depends on who you've got on the left. If you're starting Bidwell and De Silva, for instance, which I think's okay, then again that allows them defensive cover if the other one does go around. If Bidwell goes around De Silva, I think it just helps a little bit. However, if you go and play Hadji on the left, it doesn't necessarily allow you that flexibility to be able to do that. So again, it just depends on who you've got starting. But I definitely think, for me, a 4-3-3, like I said. Thank you very much for reminding the viewers that are watching. Again, if you like what we do, please go and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our X page, and whatever other pages that we've got. Please go and like and subscribe, and much appreciated. So you can hear me, I can hear you in the shower. So Glenn, thank you, Glenn. Hi, I hope you're okay, buddy. Who's impressed you for the under-21? Surprised by that Moran Collins not played today? Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but as I've just mentioned, Bradley Stretton impressed me a little bit today. Kai Andrews, and I think his name's Perry. Give me 2 seconds. I took a screenshot of the. If I go on to the right bit. So Kai Andrews, Bradley Stretton, Perry, then the number 6 for us, centre half. He impressed me in his leadership and things like that as well today. So I was quite impressed. The keeper didn't impress me really. He let an easy catch go through his hands. Like I said, the striker got in front of him. Fair play to the striker, and then he pushed him over, and they had a penalty from it. But no, it was good to go and see him. It was interesting, and there was a lot of scouts there. It looked like obviously I don't know if they were actually scouts, but they had notepads, pens. I saw a few different league emblems. I couldn't really see who they were. I did see some England, whether it's just, I don't know, whether it's just a coat that they've bought and it's got the England emblem on. I don't know, but they might have been something to do with under 21 England squads and things like that. So there was a few people there watching. I'm going to presume that some of them were scouts because, like I said, some of them were writing notes down and had books and pens and things like that. Happy with that. But yeah, like I said, I am surprised that that Collins, especially probably as he is the number 2, that he isn't getting more game time. It is surprising me. I thought he would be by now, but again, we're not the manager. We don't see him day in, day out. If he feels that he doesn't need it, but look, again, it wouldn't surprise me if Wilson starts in goal. So don't be surprised if it happens. Excuse me. We've got to make sure that we've, the defensive frailties, are helping Wilson out a little bit, because I don't think they are. Brandon Hayes, I haven't seen the goal, mate. Obviously, I know he's scored, but I haven't seen the goal. Sky Blue Sam. Hi, Sky Blue Sam. I hope you're okay, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Are you worried by the rumours of a virus in the camp? Not good. No, I have seen that there is a little bit of a virus or something going on, but it's not good. It's not helpful, because, again, I think that gives a little bit of an excuse if things don't go right or the right way, and we don't need any more excuses. We just need a performance, like I've been saying. If we perform, I don't think we've got any issues, but we've got to perform for longer than 45 minutes. It's got to play, for 60, 70 minutes at least to give us a chance of trying to do something. Mark Smith said, what's your 11 for Saturday? I would like to see Collins starting goal, because I think he deserves a chance. Again, I would play a 4 at the back. It would be Milan, right back, Binks, Kitchen, Bidwell. Latty, central mid with Sheaf. So that's 2 there. And then I would play Callum O'Hare. I would actually play Haji Wright on the left, Sims down the middle, and Sakamoto on the right-hand side. That would be my starting 11, personally. Give Godden a rest. Give Eccles another bit of a rest, but I think Eccles may start. You might even find that Eccles starts and then Kitchen starts with Latty and Binks is on the bench again. Possibly, something like that. Because we know that Robbins likes the right-sided centre-half on the right and not having a left foot out. He likes that balance in that place. Did Roos play? No, he didn't, mate. Under average Cov fan. No, he didn't play, Roos. I don't know whether he's injured or not. I'm not sure. Oh no, Brandon Hayes has just said that he's injured. Sky Blue Sam, thoughts on Manning getting Bristol City job? The honest answer is I've got no thoughts, buddy. I've got no thoughts. I didn't even know he got the job, if I'm honest. I haven't really heard that. But no thoughts on that at all. Sorry, pal. Gary Collins. Hiya, Gary. I hope you're okay, buddy. Thank you very much for coming on. He keeps changing the team. That's no good. Yeah, look, we've said it before on our X Space, and I've said it before on here as well. He doesn't know his best side. That's one of the issues that he's got, is the fact that he doesn't know his best side, and that's why he's swapping and changing. It's difficult because no one's really cementing a shirt. No one's really fighting. I would like to think that people will step up and, take that shirt for themselves, but they're not doing it. So until they do that, it's going to keep swapping and changing until somebody absolutely grabs that shirt and says, right, I'm that starter. That's my position. And no one's really doing it. So it's hard to say. Sky Blue Sam, how did Louisa do? Let me just have a quick look at his shirt number. Number 2. Yeah. He's not one of the ones that stood out for me, if I'm honest. Sky Blue Sam. I wish he did. He showed a little bit of composure. Didn't really get involved in the first half. Second half, he was a little bit more involved, I thought, and he did okay. He did all right. But like I said, no one really massively stood out, and I thought, wow, you're going to be coming through. Kai Andrews, like I said, out of everybody that I've mentioned that I thought have impressed me, Kai Andrews, he said he made a few silly mistakes, but some of his touches and some of his movement, I thought was quite good. So yeah, he would be the one that I would be looking out for, especially central midfield as well. A position that we do need really. But yeah, not. He did okay. He did all right. We live and die in these towns. In my opinion, Bidwell starts over De Silva on Saturday after how poor De Silva was against Preston. Yeah, look, again, if we're going for a back 4, Bidwell starts for me. At the moment, Bidwell starts if we go in a back 4, because I think defensively he probably is slightly better. However, if they stay with a back 3 and play with wing-backs, I would still rather have De Silva because he's better going forward. I know some of his crosses hasn't been good, and I know defensively, he does have his slight frailties and stuff. But as a general wing-back as a whole, I would still have De Silva over Bidwell. But I want to go with a back 4. So I would be in the same opinion. I would start Bidwell if we go in a back 4. If we stay with a back 3 and have wing backs, I would have De Silva. Glenn has just said, thanks, Glenn. Lincoln in League One has played about 18 games so far. Yeah, Burrows. Yeah, look, I think, they're up there. I think they're up there as well somewhere, high middle of the table to getting up there with the top. I think he's doing well. I think he's playing well. Like I said, I think the last time that we did, in my opinion, I think someone mentioned that he got an assist. He's scored tonight, so maybe every time that I do, in my opinion, he plays well and he scores or gets an assist. So I might do him every day. How about that? I'm sure nobody really wants to hear me go every day, but yeah, I do, and I would like to. So Darren Cap, hi Darren, I hope you're okay. Thank you very much for coming on, buddy. Do you think Stoke is a must-win for Robbins? I wish he would keep the team the same for change and get them used to playing together. Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I think they do need to start playing together a bit more, regardless of what happens the previous game. So, barring any injuries, whatever team he starts, even if that's a 3 at the back, whatever team he starts has to start the next, 2-3 games, maybe even 4 or 5 games to get them used to each other. I totally agree. We need to make sure that they're getting that time together. Again, like I said, barring injuries, that team needs to gel. He needs to decide on what his team is and the best players for that team, because until he does that, you're still going to see swapping and changing. But like I said, whoever plays, I still feel if they show up, we will give any team a game. We haven't shown up really, bar a half against QPR, half against Preston, if you like, even though we still lost, Leicester and Middlesbrough. That's 5 games, not even 5 full games. Leicester we gave a full game. Middlesbrough we gave a full game. The other 3 were only 45 minutes, whether that's the first half or second half. It isn't good enough. And even though we've been in games and we haven't lost, massively, we need to make sure that we're still up there and we're still fighting. Like I said, if we play to our strengths and we put out a performance, we will win most games. I still believe that. But yeah, it's one of them. I don't think it's a must win. It's not a must win, but probably not we can't really afford to lose it. It wouldn't be the worst thing if we drew. I don't think we have to win, but we can't really lose. Glenn, we need some flexibility. Fads in back 3 doesn't allow us to change formation without making a sub. If we had Latty in a back 3 instead of Fads, he could go in midfield and we can go to a back 4. Yeah, that's what I mean, really. Again, like I said, it depends on who you've actually got starting. If you did go for Latty and played a back 4 with, Latty on the right or even Latty in the centre of defence, you can push him on and then you can split the two centre halves to make that back 4, or switch him out. You switch Latty over to a right midfield, right back. So it depends on who you're starting, but I totally agree. I think I'm not saying Fads is the weak link at all, but I think Fads is the one that if he starts, you're going to stick in a back 3. You're not going to go to a back 4. I think Fads does need to come out of it slightly to allow us to do that. I am in an agreement with you there. Michael Large, thank you, Michael. I hope you're okay. I'll put your question up. O'Hare to start on Saturday. Yeah, he's had a few. Obviously, he's played under 21s now. He's had a few cameo roles, I think, getting longer and longer. So, yeah, I think he's due for a start. Play 60. Look, you get to that point where you can play 60 minutes and then you maybe need to come off. So I agree. I think he will start on Saturday and he'll probably only get 60 minutes. He'll come off probably, the honest answer is he'll probably come off for Sakamoto playing in that 10. I can't see him starting Sakamoto, if I'm honest. I would like him to because, again, I want that 4-3-3, but I don't think he will. I think O'Hare starts and then Sakamoto will come on for him. But thank you very much for your question. Sky Blue Sam, what sort of reception will Rose and McNally get? I think they'll both get good receptions. If I'm honest, I can't. Rose was an okay. Rose was a good servant. In League One, he was unplayable at times, wasn't he? In League One, only when we got to the Championship, and it did. It didn't help that last season we had McNally that played in his place, and we had Doyle that played on the left, and we had Fads. Other than if we got an injury on that right hand side, I think he would have come in, even though Doyle deputised on that right-hand side when we did have an injury, and Panzo then come in on the left-hand side. So I think it may be in just his time, but he was a good servant for us. And obviously everybody knows that we kind of wanted McNally back, and we got Bobby Thomas instead. Look, again, 50-50 on who you think is better, Bobby Thomas or McNally. For me, at the moment, I would have to go for the one that got away, McNally. I think McNally's slightly better than Bobby. I think, again, just like Wilson does, I think Bobby Thomas needs to come out of the limelight a little bit. And that's why I think if we go to a back four, play Binks and Kitchen, he comes out the limelight just like Wilson will. But I understand that people want to play him because he played with Barnsley, with Kitchen, and with Collins as well, if Collins comes in. I get that, and I understand that because they've got a relationship of a good defence together. So, look, I'm not altogether ruling it out, but I would prefer Binks and Kitchen to probably start. But Bobby will probably start because he's right-footed. So, yeah. Gary Collins again. Hiya, mate. Ignore my comment, then cheers. LOL. So have I missed one of yours, Gary? Let me go back. He keeps changing the team. That's no good. Yeah, I mentioned that one. Let me go back. Okay, I did answer that one. I don't know whether you missed it, mate, but I did answer it. Sorry if you thought I ignored it, Gary. Sorry about that, mate. Perry is the centre half. Played a bit in pre-season for the first team. Yeah, like I said, Gary Collins. See you. Okay, see you, mate. Bye. Yeah, he played well. I thought he had a good game. Personally, like I said, there was no massive standouts, but the ones that I saw and I noticed, Perry was definitely one of them. I thought he did okay. We live and die in these towns. If we do start with a 4-3-3 formation against Stoke, think Sakamoto left wing back, Sims right wing back, and Wright as the right winger, or right forward, and Wright as the striker. Bidwell left back over Simba, and Latti right central midfield next to Sheaf. Thoughts on that, Stu? I know. Look, I know Sims did well when he come on against Preston, playing either on the left or right. I would still probably prefer Hadji. I think he may be the slightly quicker out of the two of them. I think. And look, when he plays, Hadji, I don't know if anybody's noticed, I have a little bit, but he tends to drift over to the left-hand side, right. And that's the only reason why I'm saying to play him there. So he comes in, he's already there, like a Thierry Henry, if you like, obviously a poor man's Thierry Henry. But that's the kind of position that I see him taking up. So I would probably prefer to start him there. Look, it gives you that, if you play him there anyway, it gives you that versatility that they can switch over. It doesn't matter who plays straight up top because they can switch. And it might make us a little bit more unpredictable if we play like that. Latti, if you're going to play Sakamoto maybe can play through the centre and have Sims and and right on the left and right hand side. It gives us, like I said, that little bit of flexibility, and the strikers don't know. The defenders don't know who to mark because they don't know who's going in or out. So look, even though we may start like that, like I said, it gives us that flexibility. Michael Large, hiya Michael, hope you're okay. What happened to Tyler or Bilson as backup keepers? I think, didn't we let one of them go maybe? I'm not sure. Bilson, I think we've still got, but he didn't play today. It was a lad called Bell. I think they train with the first team. I think it looks like they've probably got about 4 keepers training with the first team. You've got obviously Wilson, Collins, Moore, maybe even Bilson. Maybe I don't know is the honest answer to that, Michael. Sorry, pal. Glenn said Wilson this season 2.6 saves per game. Last season 2.4 saves a game. Goals conceded this season 1.4 goals a game. Last season 0.9 per game. He's far more busy this season than last season. Yeah, and again, I think that goes with 2 things, doesn't it? They're playing better forward lines, if you like. You had the likes of Vardy and Nacho against Leicester. Who else have we played? I'm just trying to think now. I know Middlesbrough didn't have it, but it comes with our defence not playing as well. So it's a mixture of a combination, I think, against who you're playing against and the fact that our defence haven't been performing as we know that they haven't already. Bilson retired this summer and Tyler has had injury problems. Oh, there you go. That's your answer to that one, Michael. Sky Blue Sam, what's gone wrong since Norwich game and since we came back from October international break? Nobody can really put their finger on it, can they? It's difficult to know exactly what's gone wrong, because normally after an international break, we, last season, after every international break, it took us one game and we were back in the flow. And the next, the game after, I think we lost or drew. And then the games after that, we carried on winning. Nobody can put their finger on it. I just think, again, I know people get bored and tired of listening to the same thing and, saying the same thing, which I understand and I do get. But we have had a lot of people come in, and it's just, it's that transition period. It's just taking time. If you look at Chelsea, again, I don't want to compare us to anybody, but look at Chelsea. They're going through I know obviously they won last night, but they're going through a difficult time. Man United are going through a difficult time. Teams go through this period at some point. You look at the highs that we had last season. It was, incredible. It's hard, when you have had so many players go in and go out, to get them all integrated so quickly that everything is just the same. It isn't. It doesn't work like that. We need to, kind of take a step back and understand that it's not always going to, we're not always going to have the rub of the green. But like I said, the performances haven't been there. If they have, we've generally come away with a draw or a really good performance or a win. So if we perform, I'm still sure that we will be fine. Again, they are, like I said on our X Space on Sunday, they are kind of making me look stupid a little bit, because I have said that we're a top 8 side, not a top 10, a top 8 side, and they're just underperforming at the moment. We know they are. They know they are. But we've just got to make sure, again, I'll say it again, we've just got to make sure that we get behind them at every single game. Our away support is amazing. Can't praise the away support enough. At home, we need to just make sure that we are behind them and we're singing, all their names loud and proud as we do at the CBS Arena. Mark has said, how many points can we get from Stoke? How many points can we get from Stoke at home, Millwall away, and Plymouth at home? Again, you win your home games, you draw your away games. So I'm going to say 7 points. That's what every 3 games you've got to be looking at a minimum of 7 points. Win your home games and draw your away games. It's doable. It is doable. But we've got to perform. If we perform, we will be fine. If we don't show up and we don't perform, that's where we get into trouble, and that's where certain things happen and mistakes come in. But we've got to make sure that we turn up. We turn up, I'm sure that we'll win. But we have to do it consistently, not just one game, not just for 45 minutes, consistently every game. Under average Cov fan. If we lose on Saturday and play bad, is Robins under pressure from Doug King? International breaks are sacking times for managers, sadly. Well, it's not. Look, it's not just Saturday. It's now. He's under pressure now. Let's not, take anything away from it. He is under pressure, but I still don't think he's going anywhere. He'll still be here by the end of the season. I would be surprised if Doug King gets rid of him before the end of the season, if he goes that way. Just because Robinson's got too much credit in the bank with what he did let alone last season, but for the past 6 seasons. And, we've progressed each year under Robins, and we've gone a place higher or a league higher every season for the past 6 years. It's got to come to an end at some point, and it looks like it's this one after such a high season, last one. But he's got so much credit in the bank, he isn't going anywhere. Doug King, as I've said before, he is a good businessman, but he doesn't know football enough. And for him to get rid of Mark Robins would be a very knee-jerk reaction, in my view, just because he doesn't know football well enough. Give him a year, give him until the end of the season. He's been in the job, probably a full 18 months, probably, maybe a little bit longer, but, he's got to understand that, again, I can't see who else out there is going to come in and change everything that we're doing to make us better. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't know who you would get at this point in time. Give him until the end of the season. Let's see where we are at the end of the season. We're not going to get relegated. Still feel that. And like I said, I hope that the change of fortunes will come. I'm sure of it, and we will be okay. Glenn Watkin, any of that at Allthingsskyblue shows planned this week and during the international break? Well, I'm glad you've asked that question, Glenn. Right, so obviously, not obviously, but we have got Stoke on Saturday, and on Thursday I will be doing a match preview with a Stoke channel, which will be recorded on Thursday. That will be out Thursday night, and then coming in the international break, we have already recorded an interview with a former player, which we're very looking forward to getting out there. Don't ask me who it is, because I'm not going to tell you. All I'm going to say is they've got a link with Coventry, obviously, and Stoke, who we're playing on Saturday. So there is a little bit of a link there as well. So please look out for that. That will be on our YouTube channel. Once it's out on our YouTube channel, we'll put it out on the podcast channels as well. Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, and any other social media that Allthingsskyblue do. Darren Cap, Rotherham winning. Wow. Okay, that's going to be an upset. You'll have to let me know the score on that one. Is it just 1-0, or have they gone 2-0 up? Or look, Ipswich are a good side. I looked before I come on. I looked at their team. Even their bench is really, really good. So they were one of the ones that I thought was going to go down. I've completely, obviously, changed my opinion on that. They're doing really, really well. And I quite like Ipswich, to be fair. I've got no ill feeling towards Ipswich. But yeah, I would rather see us up there, obviously. We live and die in these towns. I wish the percentage of fans who have high expectations for this season would realise that since being back in the Championship the last 3 seasons, Every one of those seasons, we've overachieved. Oh, Cov Andy has just come on and said it's 1-1 now. Yeah, look, I think Rotherham were one of the ones that are going to go down, in all honesty, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think we've overachieved. I think we've done what we've kind of have expected to do. If I'm honest, I think we didn't look. We overachieved yesterday, but not all 3 seasons. I think we did well. I think we might have probably overachieved last season. Especially with the other teams that were there, like Middlesbrough and Sunderland, and But look, you can only play what's in front of you. You can only do what you were doing last season. For some reason, it just hasn't gone that way. I'm sure it will. Like I said, I'm sure it will turn around. But only look, last season we may have overachieved. I don't think for the last 3. I think we've done what we wanted to do. I think we've been fine. We live and die in these towns. Following on from my last message, as long as we're still in this league next season, which I'm sure we will be, then we can push on next season. Fans need to listen to take that patience. Yeah, they do. I think everybody knows that we need to be patient. It's just a fact that we haven't had a performance, and every time that we have performed, with either won or drew, I think. Every time that we've had a half decent full game, if you like, of playing really, really well. But apart from obviously Leicester, but I think we'll be fine. I think I still like to think that we'll finish top 8, but I think realistically, mid-table will be fine for a season with high expectations. I think we are in a false position at the moment. I think some of the performances have been a little bit better. But look, we can only do what we're doing. The team can only do what they're doing. Like I said, they've got to make sure that they're performing. If we perform, we'll be fine. Limes361, thank you very much for coming on, buddy. Will Robbins start with a front 3 versus Stoke? I hope so. I do hope he starts Sims, Sakamoto, and Wright. Personally, that would be my front 3 that I would like to see. It's whether Robbins feels that he needs to be what's the word I'm looking for? Stubborn enough to go to his back 3. I hope he's not. I hope he I'm hope he realises that we played better in a back 4. But the back 3 served us so well last season, but something's not right. So again, like I said, something needs to change. And I thought we played okay or better in a back 4, personally. Sky Blue Sam, any concerns about there being a virus in the camp? I think I've answered that one a little bit before. A little bit. I think it just gives them, like I said, it just gives us a little bit of an excuse if things don't go our way. Glenn, actually 3 up with O'Hare as a false 9 isn't a bad idea along Sims and Wright. I wouldn't necessarily have O'Hare as a false 9, if I'm honest, because last season when he did play, again, he only scored 1 or 2, I think, and he missed a hell of a lot of opportunities. If he was better at finishing, then I would say yes, but I don't think he is. Unless he's changed and he's come back, a lot better in his finishing. But we'll have to wait and see. Look, it's not the worst idea I've heard, to be fair, but no, I wouldn't have him as a false 9 personally. Not when you've got Sims and Wright that can play that number 9. Excuse me. Mark Smith, enjoying the live show. Thank you very much, Mark. Alan Atkins, I hope you're okay, buddy. Thank you very much for coming on. And your question I will put up. 15 games is more than enough for a team to gel. We can't keep using that excuse. No, we can't. But I think it's just the fact what goes along with that is he doesn't know his best team, so he's swapping and changing the team as well, which doesn't help. So yes, you want the team to gel, and I don't think if he played the same team for 15 games without, the same starting lineup barring injuries, I totally agree. I don't think we can. But the 15 games, how many times has the back three been changed? How many times has the midfield been changed? How many times have the strikers been changed? You can't expect the team to gel when there's so many changes that's going on. It's just, it's hard enough as it is when you've got so many players coming in, let alone if, the same back three aren't playing for 2 games in a row together. It's just, it's not fair. So I think you can use it as an excuse to a certain extent. But like I said, if they played half of them games with exactly the same team or started exactly the same team, then yeah, you put your points really, really valid. But at the moment, because he doesn't know his best team, the team's swapping and changing from one day to the next. It's hard for the team to gel together. That's what I think anyway. I'm going to put this one up as well. Spelt my name wrong. I don't know whether he's done that on purpose. But he said, there's only one Stuart Rendell. And I'm going to sing that. Thank you very much, Wes. Much appreciated. Right, let's keep scrolling down. We live and die in these towns. Not sure what everybody else thinks, but it seems like the togetherness we had for the last 4 or 5 years is lacking. I think if the lads regain that, we will start to win some games. Yeah, they just seem to be a little bit of, last year's togetherness was absolutely incredible. Everybody fought for everybody else, and it was just brilliant. You could see it on the pitch. I think you're right. I don't think it's there this year as much, and I think. But that comes with performance, I think, as well. I think if they perform well and they play better together, that's when the togetherness will come and they'll start fighting for each other. But at the moment, silly mistakes are happening. They are lacking confidence, so it's hard. It is hard, but I think it will come. I think it will come back. I think we'll be fine. Like I said, even if we finish mid-table, yes, it's not as good as last season, but like I said, with the new players that have come in, with something not quite right, I think that's okay. Glenn said, honestly, don't think there is a better manager available to replace Robbins. Who's better than him? Yeah, I've said it. Again, I've said it. I've heard the names being touted around. Lampard, again, I don't want him anywhere near me, really. Eustace, I'll probably have if we could get Hall's manager Rafinha. I like him a lot, But again, if you're going to get a manager from a club, it's going to cost money already because I think he's just signed a new contract. So it's going to be a free agent, and you've got to ask yourself, why are they a free agent? Because they haven't done very well at their previous club, apart from probably Eustace that shouldn't have gone from Birmingham. He's the only one really that you might think, okay, he was doing a pretty good job at Birmingham. He might be worth a go. But everybody else, you've got to ask, why are they a free agent? Why haven't they got a manager's job? Because they're not very good. I understand that some new ownership and things like that can happen. But you've got to ask yourself that question, haven't you? Why aren't they in a manager's job at the moment? Alan Arkins, thank you again, buddy. It's worrying because some of the players don't seem up to it. Not sure if it's a confidence thing, but you can clearly see it in their body language. Yeah, I still think I still think it's a confidence thing. They've got to be. Haji Wright is a USA international, and there's other Casey Palmer, Latti, they're Jamaican internationals. we've got a few more international players in our side now. Hello. My internet is really, really poor at the moment. Apologies if the screen's going black. I may have to end it soon. Skyblue Sam, yeah, I've seen Mark. I've seen it's 1-1 now. Thank you, buddy. Skyblue Sam, we are playing Ayari in the wrong role as a number 10 when he's more of an 8, playing a bit deeper. The honest answer is at the moment, I'm not keen on Ayari. I wanted to be because he's come from, a good Brighton side that, praised him. I've been very underwhelmed with him. I'd like a little bit more showing from him, really, more than 5 minutes at a time. He's got to start putting himself about a little bit more, especially if he's going to start. But I don't think he starts on Saturday anyway. Under average Cov fan, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Much appreciated. Does Milan start on Saturday? For me, yes. Obviously, we do. I am a little bit biased in that because obviously Allthingsskyblue are sponsoring this year. But yeah, I think he does start. I think he's got to drive forward more. But I think, if we played Sakamoto on that right-hand side, I think you might see him and allow him to get forward because Sakamoto can come back and you can see them combine quite well. That's what I would like to see. So for me, yeah, Milan starts on Saturday. Again, if he starts with a back three, I think with a wing back, I would rather see him play wing back than Sakamoto. In all honesty, I don't think Sakamoto's a wing back. Glenn said I was more thinking it's a problem for McNally and Rose, how they mark Sims and Wright. Yeah, look, I think they're doing quite well for Stoke. I think obviously when I do the preview show on Thursday, I'll try and get a little bit more insight from them then. But I think they've been doing pretty well. We know how good McNally is, and Rose. There's always a mistake in Rose anyway. We know that. So I think Sims and Wright can cause him problems. McNally a little bit harder because I think he's a little bit cleverer. But Rose, we always know that there was a mistake in Rose at our place. So, but we can cause them trouble. I have no doubt, and especially if we turn up. But again, we've got to turn up. I'll keep saying it. If we turn up, we'll beat most people, but we have to turn up. Mark Smith said, is there a live show at the Anecdote Bar on Saturday? I haven't got anybody that I'm actually going to interview at the Anecdote, but I will be going into the crowd again and doing a quick 10 minutes with the fans in the Anecdote Sports Bar. So if you see me, please come up and say hello. Much appreciated anytime. And I'll try and interview you if you want to, of course. Under average Cov fan, last season we had good characters: Gus, Vic, Pando, Doyle, Brook Norton, Cuffy, and also Darbo. Yeah, look, I don't think the players that we've brought in are not good characters. I think they're all good characters. Sims seems like a good lad. So does Wright. Milan seems funny. De Silva, he's got that relationship with Casey. I don't think they're bad lads that have come in. I don't think there's anybody in the dressing room that I would say is, a bad egg or you would want out. I think that I don't know what it is. Again, we don't know what it is, do we? We just need to make sure that we perform. Hiya, Deborah. I hope you're okay. Thank you very much for coming on. Glenn said, any worries that Norwich might come in for Robbins, Wagner gets sacked? Look, I think that's the only way that Robbins goes this season is if somebody else comes in, but they're going to have to pay money for him anyway. And would that please people if we got money for Robbins and then he was gone? It wouldn't necessarily please me, but some of the Robbins out chanters, that might be a nice way for him to go if he is going to go. I can't see it. I think, like I've said it before, Robbins goes in two ways. One, he leaves by his own accord, or two, he retires. I think, but I can't see him going anyway. I can't see him going, and he wouldn't be out of a job for very long if he did go. Somebody would come in for him, definitely. We live and die in these towns. What's your score for prediction for Saturday, Stu? I'm going 3-1 to Stoke. Hopefully, I'm completely wrong and we get the win. Look, I don't like bet. I don't like going against Cov. The worst I would ever do is a draw. But look, again, if we show up, I think we'll be fine. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. I think we will. Deborah, hiya. Hope you're okay. Thank you very much for watching. Stephen McGovern, I hope you're okay, Steve. More work rate required from all departments, especially up front. Effort wins games. Yeah, look, even if you're not the most technically gifted player, there's nothing wrong with work rate at all. If you put work rate in, I think that, players will, not players, fans will see the work rate and effort that you're putting in, and we can get behind that. It's when they start walking around and not running, chasing the goalkeeper down and things like that. But I think when Callum comes in, or even if Sakamoto starts, they start the running for that one. And they, the way that we played with Vic, and obviously when we had Vic, Hamer, and Callum all playing, Callum always did that running first, and then it allowed us to get Godden, Vic, and Hamer running down and chasing down the ball, and we can still do that. We're just not doing that at the moment. But yeah, hard work definitely in all areas. Totally agree. Martin Bissell, thank you very much, Martin. Hope you're well. Do you think Wright and Sims are suited for our style of play? Again, I think it depends on what formation you play. I think if you play with a 2, no, I don't think they can play together. If you play 3 up top, Hadji on the left, personally, Sims down the middle, yes. And I think if you play with 1 up front, you can either play with Sims or Wright. But if you play as a 2, I think you need Godden with the other striker. Look, they haven't really played together enough to say yes or no on that. So I am being a little bit hard and a little bit judgmental. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, just like Stephen said a minute ago, effort wins games. Glenn's just said, fair point, Stephen. Cov fans will accept the lack of quality, but not the lack of effort or work rate. We need to be on the front foot on Saturday. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Mark, as always, sitting on the fence, 0-0 draw for Saturday. Glenn said, aside from last season's loss at home, we've got a decent record versus Stoke in recent games. First goal is massive for us. Well, at the minute, it's always, that first goal for us is always important, even though we got the first goal and went behind. It's the performance. We can't make silly mistakes, and we've got to make sure that we perform. Great show as always, Stu. Thank you very much. We live and die in these towns. I hope you're well, buddy. Stoke don't win many games when they concede first. Yeah, but look, they're playing against the Coventry side that Rotherham haven't won in bloody God knows how long, and then they go and do that to us. QPR hadn't won in so many games, and the first half was absolutely awful. It was only our second half that got us back into that game. Look, we're playing, you can't say that at the moment, because they'll score first and they'll win 1-0, something stupid like that. I'm not going for that, by the way, but that could happen because they are playing against a Coventry City side that they allow them to change records and do whatever else. But it's one of them. So I'm coming up for an hour. Again, time just flies by. Thank you very much, everybody, for their questions and shout outs that they've come on and asked. Thank you very much for people that have watched and obviously that have sent questions in. Where you can find us, please find us on the ticker at the bottom on Twitter. I need to change that, to be fair, to X now. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We are partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar as well. Please make sure that you look out for our match preview show with the Stoke fan, which will be recorded and out on Thursday. And also, please look out for our interview with the former player, which will be coming out. I believe it's coming out next week, which was the international break. We will announce who it is on our X Space on Sunday night. So please go and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can listen to us on the podcasts as well. Much appreciated for everybody coming on. Glenn's just done one final thing. Ugly win, 1-0 to Cov, or a bore 0-0 to Stop the Rot. Fingers crossed. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on. Much appreciated. Please go and like and subscribe if you like what we do, and go and follow us on the other socials. Thank you very much.